Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird. Miles Red Birdsong. The Michelle Birdsong in New York City at Einstein Mine, Evangeline. This is part 2 of Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ. This is music from People.com. Excerpts and modifications. Why Michael Bublé says fan is a horrible word. These people, Eve, Mary, Einstein, Evangeline, the Michelle Birdsong, are my family. But he said, these people are my family. I put his real family in there. They are my equals. Bublé, Michael Bublé, was Sinatra, and he was Elvis, he was Sam Cooke, and he was the Beatle George Harrison. Okay. And this article, which my input is in here, is by this girl, Karen Mizuguchi, posted March 19, 2019, 1 o'clock p.m. Okay, these are his fans. He doesn't like the word fans because it's fanaticals, and I guess he doesn't want to know that people are fanatical about him. In this crazy life, and through these crazy times. That's a line from Michael Bublé's song. For Michael Bublé, Adam, his supporters, who he calls family, have been everything. Everything decoded. Eve, energy, her eye. Eve, energy, her eye. True. T for true. H-I-N-G, hing. Indian spice. True Indian spice. Guru Nanak. Eve. Eve was Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism. Notice that Adam posed with women who are not 18. And of course, Eve is not 18. Far from it. Photo of Adam and Eve's third son, Seth, as Will Smith, acting in the movie Pursuit of Happiness, acting as the character Chris Garner Jr. Where's that picture? Oh, I guess it's coming up. Life is a struggle for single father Chris Garner, Will Smith, evicted from their apartment. He and his young son, Jaden Christopher Cyree Smith, find themselves alone with no place to go. Jaden, Jesus, Adam, Eden. Jesus, Adam, A-D for Adam, E-N for Eden. Alone with no place to go. This is a description of the plot of Pursuit of Happiness movie, okay, Will Smith movie. Even though Chris eventually lands a job as an intern at a prestigious brokerage firm, the position pays no money. The pair, the son and father, must live in shelters and endure many hardships, but Chris refuses to give in to despair as he struggles to create a better life for himself and his son. Director Gabriel Musino, screenplay Stephen Conrad, awards Teen Choice Award for Choice Movie Chemistry. I don't understand that, that's just what it said. Producers are Will Smith, James Lasseter, Todd Black, Steve Tisch, and Jason Blumenthal. Eve's sons have not abandoned her. Her oldest son, Cain, Captain Devin Gangading, came to live with her and help her financially by paying. Now this is this life I'm talking about. I'm talking about Eve and Cain, the very first family. and Cain found her this life. So he helped her financially by paying her rent when she lived, renting a room for her when she lived, setting up her business to help the low information group of people, black people, become as informed as the well-informed part of the population. Her business was called and is called Mainstreaming Clues to the Marginalized. Sometimes I call it Mainstreaming Clues to You. Devin's friend, pilot for Southwest Airlines, Todd Schaefer, Neil Armstrong, projecting, also lived in the townhouse with the Michelle Birdsong and her staff, bodyguard, and personal assistant Russian who served the country. The country as an army contractor in Iraq, Alexander Danilian, Alexander the Great in past life. They made 2 videos on YouTube together on Michelle Birdsong's channel called Beer versus Weed, and part 2, which is a must-say, is so funny. Part 2 of Beer versus Weed called, you have to type this in, Mainstreaming Clues channel, Weed versus Beer part 2. Okay, Eve and Cain also made a video together on Michelle Birdsong YouTube channel called Michelle Interviews Yogi Pilot. That's a good one too. I did some videos where I proved that he was making love and asking me to marry him in body language, silent body language, because we didn't know we were mother and son. Okay. Eve did Hatha Yoga during the 1960s on 24th Street and 9th Avenue in Chelsea. That's got to do with him being a yogi pilot. There's a connection there. In 1970, she began practicing yoga of the sound current, Surat Shabd Yoga, the goal of which is to end your cycles of birth, rebirth, and death finally, to merge back into the ocean of light, where instead of being a drop, you become the ocean. You lose your individuality, your mind. One could call it a true death cult. It was very difficult to get accepted on that path. It didn't cost any money. You had to give up doing wrong. No sex out of wedlock, no meat, fish, eggs, or anything containing their essence. No alcohol or any other mind-altering drugs. And you had to vow to lead a clean, moral life, follow the 10 Commandments like that. The Guru came to rescue those who were so disheartened they wanted to die dead forever. The Guru did not come to change this world that is run by criminals and thugs. They came to take the marked souls to Sachkhand, the abode of the highest, continuous bliss, like being on heroin 24/7. Okay, that was the goal. Now, that state of mind called heaven is no longer an option. Babaji, Govinda Singh, Jesus Christ, locked the doors to heaven April 2018. His disciples, Daphne Nathanson, Norma Nathanson, Susan Nathanson, Suzanne Kissing, Roy Thomas, his daughter Jonatha, Linda Zitelli, Nancy Monroe, Bush Gross, Manira Smith, Fountain Jones Jr., Karen Jones, the speakers of the Sangha organization, friends of the Michelle Birdsong, snubbed her because she had lost her Hollywood smile, teeth. See her article, poem called Teeth. I wrote a poem about teeth, published in the upcoming issue of St. Francis Record booklet newsletter. You can get that. Let's see, how can you get that? Well, you can just get it. I guess you can get it here at St. Francis of Assisi, Residence 3, 148 8th Avenue in New York, 10011. Okay, so Dee Michelle Birdsong has seen her son in a past life, Seth. That's Adam and Eve's son, Seth. Will Smith movie about 10 times. I've seen that movie, Pursuit of Happiness, about 10 times. It so resembles her life after her children left the nest, and she set out to do her thing. Her husband, Michael John Spear, had moved on from New York City, the haven of creativity, to California. California, pedophiles, homosexuals, and sexual weirdos giving movie parts with gals for their show up, for their body parts, except their hearts. They were too dark to show up in the scene. Don't give me no lip. You want the part, but my dick. You want the hit? Eat my shit. Suck my dick. That's where the shit is, on the dick, when they stick it in somebody's butt. I heard a guy, the truth is not for the squeamish. I heard a guy yell that to another guy in Oliveri walk-in shelter for the homeless, where you can sleep in chairs with your head on a table. What did I hear him yell? Eat my shit. That's what I heard him yell. I couldn't believe it. I never heard anything so low. Of course, your feet, you sitting in a chair, sleeping. Of course, your feet swell, which can lead to a blood clot, explained Renee Oliver, lesbian medical practitioner, who I knew at Hellhole Main Chance Walk-in Center, where they feed you half portions of a meal and call it a full portion. No tables to lay your head on. You can sleep in a chair that the back goes back. Oliveri's has small lockers. Main Chance, no lockers. You have to schlep your belongings with you. Everywhere you go, of course, you lose them along the way. Somebody's gonna steal them when you close your eyes one night or a day. One woman security guard hated me at Main Chance. She was dark, I was light. Maybe that was why. It wouldn't be the first time I've been hated for being light-skinned. This is one of the reasons I like Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his leadership, even the playing field. Colored, Miles Red, Eve says, people light and dark got the same opportunities as white people. So hopefully dark-skinned black people would grab those opportunities and stop being jealous and covetous of light-skinned girls with good hair, thinking they had something they didn't have and hating them for their lack. I think the security guard who hated me at Main Chance, name was Renee too. After I left Main Chance, I happened to be in McDonald's working in the Bronx. I had papers all over the table, and she walked in. She saw me and got as angry seeing me working in some stranger's franchise as she used to get seeing me writing in Main Chance. She'd make me pick the bags off the floor, and she was from Harlem. She'd been raised in Harlem, and put them in my lap I just put the clipboard on top of the bundle and resumed writing. I'd gone to the Bronx because somebody said there was a shelter I might be able to stay in. It was a long and winding road from the subway, but eventually I found the shelter. Police greeted you at the door. Turns out it was only for women with children, born or soon to be born. Since that's the position I'm in now, pregnant with twins, immaculately conceived with Jesus Christ, 21st century, and his Father, the Supreme Son. They, Jesus Christ, first and 20th century, Charan Singh, now Giancarlo Arturo, and R.N. Evelyn Jones, now Ariel Elizabeth Michelle, are in my womb. Coincidentally, of course there's no such thing as a coincidence. Jesus Christ, Charan Singh told me that. So I'll say, for some reason, Michael Bublé, Adam Govinda Singh, Jesus Christ projection, wrote a song in 15 minutes with a guy named Ariel. Do you remember? That's my daughter, Ariel, in my womb. I would have sworn it was a girl's name. My other daughter, Robin, was kind of sad because I almost named her Aria. Now, here I was giving her name, or almost name, to another little girl. But having uncovered Miles Red, uncovered the fact that my daughter Robin, Birdsong, had been Robin Hood, a Democrat robbed the rich taxpayers and give it to the poor. Charity cases. Oh, that's my feeling about Robin Hood. Huh? I saw it on TV. Everybody was on Robin Hood's side because of the way it was presented. And it is true that the rich steal from the poor to be rich. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. Owen Benjamin talks a lot about how the Jews do that. You know, with usury, they keep you poor. You pay off the loan, and they say, "Well, you still owe me money." They say, "Why owe you money?" "Yeah, interest. Interest. I already paid you." "No, you gotta pay more," and they keep you poor. You see. And Robin, this is the Antichrist. The Jews are the Antichrist. Am I anti-Semitic? I don't think so. There's some Jews I like, but I'm not gonna not see the truth of the anti-Semitic religion. Read the Talmud. You know what I'm talking about. They said Jesus Christ's mother was a whore in that book. Okay? And Robin Birdsong had a son, Tony Robbins' son. See there? That's why I named her Robin. So her name was the right name for her after all. The name Aria popped into my head 40 years ahead of time. That happens to me often. A word, a phrase, a realization will occur to me, or I'll hear somebody say something that I know is relevant to my destiny. I hold these things in the back of my head till the appropriate context appears to me. I was talking about my son's contribution to my life, so let's go back to that. I'm sure Seth Will Smith produced Pursuit of Happiness to connect with me, his mother. He filmed part of the movie at Glad Church in San Francisco. Glad Church was the first line I stood in with my husband, Michael John Spear, for a meal when we first became homeless. I ate many free meals in their dungeon basement, lit up by the happiness of the volunteers serving us. Because our source, light, the life giver, the sun, is always, repeat, always working, always volunteering. Nobody pays the sun for light. He just gives and gives each day light. Top down. Those good people like him are always serving. Okay, I wouldn't call him a person. I would call him a godson. S-U-N. Because he is an eye. He's an all-seeing eye. He doesn't do arms and legs, and he doesn't have the same kind of body we have, but he's an E.T., an extraterrestrial. As am I, the daughter, but I have a human body. And so is Gurinder Singh from the sun. The son of the sun. So, mother serves. I'm talking about top down. These good people like him are always serving. Mother serves breakfast and dinner. Father serves mother. He buys the food or plants the food. If he's a farmer or a gardener, for her to prepare and serve in the natural, normal order of things of being human. It's a picture of Seth, Will Smith, Adam and Eve's third son, and this is Will Smith's real son, Jaden, acting in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, amazing body language. Look at this body language. Doesn't he look tired and beat down, but wearing a suit, trying to make it? This picture says so much to me. But amazing body language in this scene. I feel Will Smith feeling Chris Garner. To feel another person is empathy. To become another person, to lose your identity and become the other person is love. Charan Singh, Jesus Christ, told us that. When I arrived at the women's shelter, 350 Lafayette in NoHo, Manhattan, I was told that Will Smith had just been there. See, that's what I'm saying. He's on the same way, but he's looking for his mother. And she's looking for him. Because she wants to reunite her family, and her family wants to reunite with her. And Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, is reuniting the first family. Okay, so they said that Will Smith was so very nice. He had been making a movie across the street, heard about the women's homeless shelter, and came across the street and posed for pictures with them. He is so loving. I also saw a picture of Seth, Will Smith, on a bicycle in a neighborhood I frequented. I saw him bungee jump into the Grand Canyon, hanging from a helicopter. He is loving, loyal, brave, and I saw him slap a guy who kissed him. Will Smith is all-American man, yeah. Here's a picture of him being a comedian, dancing in the movie Hitch. That was so funny. He was so good at that wedding scene in the movie Hitch, where he danced, sort of like a dork. He was brilliant, brilliant actor. Okay, Mention Views You. Sing Birdsong Note, One Baby in Mama from Jesus Christ, and then she sees her father, and there are two twins. Saint wins, S.T. Saint wins. The good people win earth as heaven. Eve Mary Z. Michelle Birdsong was shouted out in Queens that she is the best mother in the world. Now the best energy in creation have chosen her, Z. Michelle Birdsong, to be their baby's mother. Grooves and impressions and Jesus Christ first and 20th century in his brain. So, he has grooves and impressions of Jesus Christ first and 20th century in his brain, son of the sun, The sun is the giver of light and life, and the best mother in the world. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. The sun is the father of my baby, Giancarlo Arturo, who was Jesus Christ first in 20th century. Okay? She is the queen of information. Einstein brain formation. Celebration. Okay? And that's all. So you go think of QAnon. QAnon, Robin swears by QAnon just as I turned her on. So. A lot of people swear by QAnon. Mainstream and close to you. Even before I knew that Will Smith was Seth, my son, when I was Eve, I knew that he was worth paying attention to. He is rightfully prince of this world, as he's a member of the very first family in the world, Adam and Eve's family. But when I heard the title Prince of Bel-Air, I was impressed with the concept of black royalty. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an upper-class black man with a high yellow upper-class black woman for a wife, Mrs. Coretta Scott King, had been an opera diva, a real diva, before she married Dr. King. Diva, definition, a famous female opera singer, Marian Anderson, from 1897, died in 1993, a colored Negro black lady, was a diva and Eve projection. Other opera divas, I'm talking about upper-class black women. Other opera divas of color are Leontine Price and Jessie Norman and others. I listened to Jessie Norman on her CD. Watching Will Smith in Hitch, one can see that he is still a brilliant comedian, as he showed us in his role as the Fresh Prince. In the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance, he portrayed a character with great wisdom and subtle presentation of it, showing an always appealing trait, humility. Will Smith reminded me of my husband, Jesus Christ, first century. I listened to his rousing words of encouragement, Will Smith's rousing words of encouragement to those of us who haven't made it during an interview on Tavis Smiley's show on PBS on YouTube. Will Smith is so likable, so commanding, so helpful. He says, just choose. Talking about the power of making a decision. Okay, instead of waffling, floating, not being focused. Will Smith doesn't know how good looking he is. He doesn't seem to know what an amazing man he is. He says he does what he fears. Isn't that extraordinary? He says he's motivated by fear. When Tavis comments that Will Smith is a legend, he says, I'm just doing what my grandmother told me to do. She said, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Some smart grandma he had. When I was 6 years old, I think I'm going to end now, because I'm almost, I've been talking a half an hour and it stops after half an hour. It just stops mid filming. Alright, the Miles Red Songbird, D. Michelle Birdsong in New York City. Oh, I will do part 3 in 10-15 minutes. Ciao.